Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The NFL world is buzzing like never before after the shocking news that Devin Lloyd, the sensational linebacker who has been a cornerstone of Jacksonville's defense, has officially left the Jaguars to join the Washington Commanders. The whispers started circulating weeks ago, but now, as the deal is confirmed, fans and analysts alike are scrambling to understand the seismic shift this could cause in the Commanders' front seven. Devin Lloyd, known for his lightning-quick reads and relentless pursuit of ball carriers, has always been a player who seems to exist one step ahead of the offense. The mere thought of him patrolling the middle of Washington's defense has already sent tremors through discussions about the team's defensive identity. Rumors suggest that the Commanders have been planning a full-scale defensive overhaul, and acquiring Lloyd is just the opening move in a series of strategic maneuvers designed to re-establish dominance in a division where every yard counts. Even in Jacksonville, his departure leaves a hole that isn't simply about statistics. It's about presence, leadership, and a rare combination of athletic intelligence and instinct. Some insiders are already hinting that this move could trigger additional trades or free agent signings, meaning Lloyd's arrival could be just the tip of an iceberg reshaping the entire roster, leaving both fans and critics on edge about what comes next in a league that thrives on drama and momentum. Washington's coaching staff is reportedly ecstatic about the addition, seeing Lloyd not just as another linebacker, but as a cornerstone around which the front seven can be reinvented entirely. Sources close to the team have suggested that Lloyd's versatility allows him to operate in multiple roles, from aggressive inside linebacker duties to a hybrid pass rush position that could confuse opposing quarterbacks week after week. The potential schemes being whispered about in locker rooms and insider circles are said to include staggered blitz packages, zone read adjustments, and alignment shifts that could make the Commanders' defense one of the most unpredictable in the league. Fans on social media are already speculating about how Lloyd will mesh with existing stars, debating endlessly about chemistry, adaptation periods, and the psychological impact of his presence on the field. Some pundits are drawing comparisons to legendary linebackers who transformed franchises overnight, citing Lloyd's ability to influence not just the plays around him, but the morale and confidence of an entire defensive unit. The narrative emerging from Washington is one of ambition, daring, and a calculated gamble that could pay immense dividends if executed flawlessly. Even among casual observers, the buzz is undeniable. Devin Lloyd is not just moving teams. He's signaling a new era for a Commanders squad hungry to reclaim attention, respect, and victories in a highly competitive division, and insiders insist that the story is far from over. What makes this move even more tantalizing is the timing, which coincides with the Commanders' rumored shift towards a more aggressive defensive philosophy. Analysts have been piecing together patterns from practice reports, interviews, and subtle hints from coaching staff, suggesting that Lloyd's integration is part of a broader vision to pressure quarterbacks relentlessly while maintaining disciplined coverage schemes that have historically frustrated opponents. This dual-threat approach, which combines tactical intelligence with raw athleticism, could allow Washington to exploit mismatches week after week, potentially redefining their defensive reputation from solid to elite. Social media chatter has exploded, with highlight reels of Lloyd's previous seasons being dissected endlessly to project what he might bring to a new team environment. Meanwhile, Jacksonville fans are processing a complex mix of disappointment and awe, recognizing the inevitability of change while mourning the loss of a player who embodied toughness, reliability, and the rare ability to perform under pressure. The ripple effects extend beyond just the field. Contract structures, salary caps, and potential future acquisitions are all under scrutiny as insiders attempt to predict how this single move might influence multiple layers of the franchise. If the rumors swirling in coaching circles are accurate, Lloyd's arrival could catalyze a domino effect, triggering a cascade of strategic adjustments, trades, or even a reimagining of the entire defensive playbook, creating a storyline that will dominate conversations well into the next season. Adding fuel to the fire, sources close to the locker room hint that Lloyd's leadership style is already making waves in Washington. His reputation as a vocal communicator, relentless motivator, and cerebral presence is reportedly sparking competition among veterans and rookies alike, pushing the team to reevaluate roles, responsibilities, and on-field priorities. This kind of cultural shift is rarely instantaneous, but insiders suggest that Lloyd's mere presence is enough to challenge the status quo, potentially elevating the intensity of practices and forcing players to raise their performance standards. Analysts have speculated endlessly about how his unique combination of speed, strength, and football IQ could allow for creative defensive alignments that opponents simply cannot anticipate, making every snap a potential nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. Conversations in online forums and sports podcasts have been dominated by hypothetical scenarios, debating whether Lloyd's arrival might inspire a more aggressive blitz culture or solidify disciplined zone coverage strategies, with passionate fans offering detailed breakdowns of his past highlight reels to support their theories. Even team insiders are careful with their words, acknowledging the transformative potential while resisting the temptation to declare immediate dominance, citing the complexity of integrating a player of Lloyd's caliber into an established system without disrupting existing chemistry. The anticipation is palpable, as Washington appears poised to unveil a new defensive identity centered around innovation, athleticism, and the magnetic presence of a linebacker whose influence extends far beyond the box score. And the NFL landscape is watching intently to see if this gamble will redefine perceptions of the franchise. Rumors swirling around team meetings suggest that coaching staff have been quietly planning ways to leverage Lloyd's skill set in unconventional scenarios, potentially including late-game packages, goal-line stunts, and unpredictable blitz rotations designed to destabilize even the most prepared offenses. Insiders hint that these strategies are not merely experimental, but a calculated response to division rivals who have consistently tested Washington's defensive resolve in recent seasons. Speculation has intensified about potential synergies with other defensive stars, with pundits analyzing tape to envision combinations that could disrupt passing lanes, force turnovers, and create game-changing opportunities on every snap. Social media conversations reflect a mixture of excitement and incredulity, with fans dissecting every micro-detail from Lloyd's tackling angles to his ability to anticipate snap counts and offensive line tendencies. Meanwhile, fantasy football analysts are already revising projections, anticipating a potential surge in defensive stats for the Commanders due to Lloyd's arrival. Even casual observers are intrigued, as the narrative surrounding his transfer transcends simple statistics, hinting at a profound psychological and strategic shift within the team. Speculation continues to mount, and whispers from insiders suggest that this might only be the beginning of a string of moves aimed at constructing a defensive juggernaut, leaving the NFL community eagerly awaiting further confirmation of a storyline that promises intrigue, drama, and a redefinition of Washington's defensive identity. Finally, the emotional resonance of Lloyd's move cannot be understated, as both Jacksonville and Washington fans grapple with the implications of this blockbuster shift. In Jacksonville, social media is flooded with tributes, debates, and nostalgic reflections on a player whose intensity and intelligence defined an era for the franchise. In Washington, the excitement is palpable, with previews of training camp already highlighting potential dynamic plays and matchups, creating a sense of anticipation reminiscent of championship aspirations. Analysts and insiders alike speculate that Lloyd's presence could attract additional talent, influence draft strategies, and shift the balance of power within the division, signaling a calculated transformation aimed at redefining the team's identity from the inside out. The story is no longer just about a single linebacker. It is about momentum, strategy, and the subtle ways in which a singular acquisition can ripple across a team's roster, culture, and performance. Fans, pundits, and insiders continue to dissect every detail, creating a narrative web that spans games, locker rooms, and social media channels, all centered around one question. Can Devin Lloyd catalyze a transformation so profound that the Washington Commanders are no longer just competitors, but a dominant force reshaping expectations in the NFL landscape for years to come? If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL rumor mill continues to spin wildly as insiders suggest that Devin Lloyd's arrival in Washington might trigger a cascade of moves that extend far beyond the linebacker core. Word is circulating that front office strategists have been quietly evaluating trade options, free agent signings, and even draft day maneuvering, all with the goal of maximizing the impact of Lloyd's skill set. Analysts are speculating about potential positional shifts, with some defensive linemen possibly adapting to hybrid roles to complement Lloyd's versatility, while secondary players might adjust coverage schemes to take advantage of his presence in the middle. The intrigue has ignited social media debates, with fans dissecting every practice report and insider whisper, imagining what a fully synchronized Commanders front seven could achieve. Comparisons to historically dominant defensive units are inevitable, as pundits attempt to project Lloyd's influence on overall team performance, turnover rates, and even game momentum. Meanwhile, whispers hint that Lloyd's leadership could instigate subtle cultural changes, fostering a climate of accountability, focus, and competitiveness that resonates far beyond the field. Some sources even speculate that this move is part of a long-term vision, positioning Washington not just for short-term victories, but to establish a sustained defensive identity capable of influencing the league's balance of power for seasons to come. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are captivated, watching closely as this evolving story unfolds. The depth of speculation around Lloyd's integration into the Commanders' defensive schemes is staggering. Sources close to the coaching staff hint at experimental alignments, unconventional blitz rotations, and specialized packages designed to exploit Lloyd's unique combination of speed, strength, and anticipation. Observers suggest that these changes could redefine how opposing quarterbacks read the field, as the unpredictability introduced by Lloyd's presence may force offenses to adjust in real time, often with limited preparation. Social media platforms are flooded with debates over possible scenarios, analyzing matchups, gap assignments, and coverage rotations as fans attempt to visualize the practical implications of a linebacker whose influence extends beyond conventional statistics. Some insiders hint that Lloyd's presence could inspire further acquisitions, creating synergy between existing stars and potential new signings to amplify defensive effectiveness. Analysts are also considering psychological factors, noting that the confidence and intensity a player like Lloyd brings can shift locker room dynamics, motivating teammates to elevate performance under pressure. Speculation about draft strategies, long-term cap implications, and the potential ripple effect on coaching philosophies only intensifies the buzz. Even casual observers are captivated, as Lloyd's arrival seems poised to redefine not only the Commanders' defensive identity, but also broader strategic conversations across the NFL. The narrative surrounding Devin Lloyd's transfer is thick with intrigue, suggesting that Washington's approach to the upcoming season may not merely be reactive, but a bold, proactive gambit designed to redefine its competitive landscape. Rumors circulating among insiders hint that the coaching staff is meticulously planning how to utilize Lloyd in high-stakes situations, potentially including goal line stand packages, unpredictable third-down blitzes, and coverage rotations aimed at disorienting even the most seasoned quarterbacks. Analysts are dissecting film, projecting how Lloyd might synergize with the existing roster, and speculating on how opposing coordinators will adjust their offensive game plans in response to the evolving Commanders' defense. Fan communities are teeming with conjecture, analyzing every facet of Lloyd's previous seasons to anticipate the kinds of plays that could emerge under his influence. Meanwhile, whispers suggest that this move could initiate a cultural shift within the team, inspiring competition, collaboration, and elevated intensity across the roster. Discussions about chemistry, adaptation periods, and the balance between strategy and raw athleticism dominate podcasts and forums alike, emphasizing the multifaceted nature of integrating a player of Lloyd's caliber. Insiders caution that expectations must be tempered, as even transformative talent requires careful orchestration within a team system. Yet, the excitement is palpable, and the rumor mill continues to churn, painting a picture of a franchise on the cusp of a defensive renaissance led by a linebacker whose presence promises to reverberate across every snap of the upcoming season. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.